All right, perk up. Time to roll. So, plan for today is a cardio lift combo because I'm going to be a bit busier later, which I don't mind really. Like, usually I'm going to say there's 4 ways to lift and do cardio in a day. Right? Cardio in the morning, lift at night. I think that's the best. Cardio in the morning with a lift first, cardio after. Or, anytime. I'd say that's close to second best. Lift, then cardio at night. I don't know. Whatever. Right. But combining the two, I wouldn't freak about it. So if you're on the fence, maybe I might want to do 20 minutes on the bike. So just try it once post-workout. Play on your phone and see what happens. But no, plan for the lift first, arm-wise. We'll see. I'm not sure if I want to. I don't know. I've been having this feeling I want to do like a full-on just tricep only day, like complete tricep annihilation. So, what makes me say that is the fact that for me, my triceps are stronger than no, they're not stronger. I think they're weaker than my biceps are in my overall kind of arm development. Right? If I could have bigger biceps or bigger triceps on snapping my fingers, I'd pick the triceps because that would kind of just add a bit more beef to my arms in total. Plus, it's in poses where you wouldn't think about it, right? If you do a regular bicep shot, if you got a big, especially long head of your tricep, it's going to hang down, really make your arm look a bit bigger. And don't forget, triceps are like 2/3 of your arms too. So if your tri and your bi are about the same size, no, that actually means your bicep's fine, but your tricep is undersized. So, given that it's already a little bit of a just like insertion-based weakness for me, I've been trying to up my tricep game gradually, which I think I've been doing a pretty good job at in terms of, actual legit range of motion. I used to do the rope like really low, just like bouncing reps. Now I'm really taking it all the way to the top, feeling my long head way more. Plus, with more overhead extensions combined, it's just, they're getting hit a lot better than they used to, that's for sure. So if you ever had a muscle group where you were lagging, maybe you've been slacking on legs, hamstrings, whatever, look, man, no biggie. Just change it going forward, right? There's no point crying over spilled milk. All you can do is start wiping it up and get yourself back on track. So I don't know. I'll think about it because I've got like a few different approaches for arms. Sometimes I do legs the same way, but arms is usually either all tries, all buys, tries first, buys second. A combination where I do like 3 of one, 3 of the other, 2 of one, 2 of the other, or just a straight up back and forth, push down, curl, push down, curl, push down, curl. The push down, like immediately going back and forth, supersetting the 2 of them, that's definitely the quickest method. So if you're ever in a rush, that might be your best bet. But I do like just totally, killing one and then moving on to the next one, just so I know I didn't leave anything in the tank, and I can kind of just, maintain complete 100% focus on one muscle group and then move on to the next instead of kind of multitasking. So a lot of ways to look at it, but in the process of driving here to there, parking, walking in, doing some warm-up sets, I'm sure the answer will be revealed to me on what exactly the orientation of sets this lift should be. And no matter what it is too, I can say with certainty I will be pumped at the end. So how about we just stop thinking about it and make it happen. So I see this setup a lot, but in like an inverted version where like guys will grab the cables however down low and then they somehow spin them around and now they're up here like this. Personally, I've never seen the appeal. Or like even when guys do a rope and they're kind of like standing, it just never works for me. So I do like this kind of downward motion. So lightish weight, each arm individually loaded. So if you have one tricep that's a little bigger than the other, things like this might help you a little. Or like a dip machine where each handle moves independently. If you have one of those, that'd be cool. Because then they're actually each getting their own workload. So if you fail on the right leg, I'm saying the right arm, then it really got hit and it'll start to kind of balance out. But This is going to be a very squeezing, focused movement. If I want to do something heavy, I'll do the stack with some extra plates on the side and bust out some push downs. But in the beginning of triceps, I've really been liking lighter squeezing movements. Because for one, crazy burn, it completely warms my triceps up, and in more of like a tendony kind of way, it gets me ready for a heavier movement later. Like if set number one, I try to do skull crushers, like every tricep day, I would totally have wrecked triceps. But by starting with things like this or rope or whatever, it just feels a lot better, you know? So that's kind of the logic here. I want every rep to burn like a mofo, get into a deep stretch, and repeat. Okay. All right. That's enough of those. Let's switch to, I don't know, either a rope or like something else heavy. Give me a minute to decide. Like pre-exhaust push downs, and then flip over into overhead extensions. That'll be kind of the combo for this set.
Yeah, I know. I went one time before, but then when I went to sleep, and I was like, "Hey, come in your house," and like, it wasn't easy. I think that we're all. I don't know. I need to talk to the artist and see exactly what we're doing.
Okay. 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 This will be a nice heavy one. Two drops. Okay, holy shit. Ooh. Oh, okay, holy crap. Oh. Let's curl something. Maybe that tries our. You know what they are. This will be a perfect curl. Heavy, nasty. In a good way. Okay. Oh, a few more just like that. Whew. Holy crap, yeah. I just want to camp out here. This movement feels so good. A few more. Okay. Oh. Holy crap, okay. Actually, I lied. I think that's enough. Yeah, but bias might be a bit lower volume today. I think I'm getting ready for a finisher. We'll see how the pump goes, of course. Let's do a heavy curl. 70s are probably a little too heavy. Let's be a little more weight conscientious and do the 65s. And then bicep bias pull downs, and we'll be good. Oh my gosh, okay. Oh, that was not too heavy. No. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Oh, let's go do a post down. All right, so add all those up. The crossbody extensions, the overhead extension kind of supersets, the dips, and then I guess it was just the dips with one sort of pre-exhaust with a rope. And then that machine bicep curl, freaking nuts. And the only reason I really kind of liked it is it's kind of, well, it's a very complete movement, right? like with a, let me see, what's a good example? Some chest presses are very light at the bottom and they only get really hard and heavy toward the top. Or with a bicep curl, you're kind of resting at the bottom, even though it's a stretch. Come on, the weight's just being held up by your bones, right? You don't need to work your biceps, just holding dumbbells together or at your sides. But with that machine, since it's like a fly, it's as though I've got constant force going against my arm the whole time. So there is no rest at the bottom. It's still like trying to pull my arm extra straight. So that combined with just the fact that I like it, like the movement and just the path is nice, that really gets me going. So didn't need too many. Plus, it's freaking heavy. All right, if that stack was a bit heavier, I would not try to stack it at all. And I'd be able to say, okay, that's enough. This amount of weight is perfect. Any more is probably getting me close to the danger zone, as it were. But let's see how arms are looking. Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm getting excited to be extra cut down come the end of this year. Well, toward the end at least, just because, look, as cool as it is to put on size and like be extra big and bulked, I'm getting to the point now where I'm actually excited to really see what's kind of been built underneath. I got a pretty good hint at it for the Arnold / Vegas show prep, but I was not as lean as I could have been. So that's half of my, goal come next dieting phase / competition season is go from, shredded, peeled to bone dry diced. That's, I want that to be an accurate description of the level of leanness, come January, February-ish. But until then, gotta keep packing size on and, actually build something up underneath first, so that when the outer layer is removed, there is something to be revealed, So it's kind of, come up with your own analogy, right? You get the gist. Let's roll. There we go. All right. I didn't know I was such a Kevin O'Leary fan. Obviously, we've all seen him on Shark Tank, but it was because my Instagram feed has, I don't want to say devolved, but it has kind of reached a certain set of particulars that it knows I engage with, and it's anything to do with cats. That's a very strong one. Anything to do with like road rage. That's a classic one. Instagram knows I'm gonna watch a 1-minute reel of somebody freaking out on the highway. And then it also knows I've been looking at watches, so it feeds me watch stuff. But in the process, I get to see a bunch of Kevin O'Leary clips where he's talking like business and the likes. And this is one clip that actually kind of, I've seen a few times, but only just sort of clicked with me fitness related today when I saw it earlier. And he was talking about, it was basically a way of thinking in a small scale term, where instead of like, okay, I've got this massive plate of things to do. I've got to get jacked. I've got to clean this. I've got to work on, I've got to make this project. I've got to, like, a million different things. Like, we've all got all sorts of stuff going on, but, oh shit. All right, the audio might be a little bugged out. Let me try to, there we go. But we've all got all sorts of shit, right? So the logic of this idea was, he was saying, don't let yourself get overwhelmed by, whatever multitude of things you got going on. Try to boil it down to just a main 3 to 5 sort of points on like a week basis. Like, these 3 things need to get done no matter what. Everything else can kind of be on the back burner, right? Of course, you shouldn't drop everything and just, you know, working on like getting your cardio in. You've still got a whole life to live. But the idea is like if there's things that you know have to be added to your to-do list or whatever, treat them as though they're crucial and make sure that they get done. And then the more you can do that, the same thing with working out, it becomes easier to do, right? You'll become more proficient at it. So the way I look at that is like, okay, sure, you want to be lean, you want to be back in your college build, or at least as close as you can get to it. You want to bench 315 one day, you want to do whatever. That's huge. There are a million steps between where you're at now versus like a certain goal that is going to take years to get to. So how I, you know, look at a situation like that is, okay, well, obviously it's going to be a while. I kind of want to be a little more concerned with the short term, right? What do I, because instead of, okay, what do I have to do for this entire time period to work up to this massive thing I'm trying to, it's much easier to say, okay, what do I have to do today? What are 2 things that I have to do today that will keep me on track, right? Because rather than like, oh my gosh, like, I mean, it's a hard sell. Imagine telling someone who's never worked out before, but has the itch, and tell them, okay, you want to look like this dude? And I'm not saying like he's looking at Chris Bumstead and saying like, oh, you want to look like, or like Ronnie Coleman or anything. I'm saying just like a pretty jacked dude, right? Which I think is basically feasible for anybody. I think long enough, 190 lean, even upper of like 200, decently lean. Like I'm not talking ab veins, but I'm talking like 15, 12-ish% body fat. I don't think that's unfeasible. It might depend on your height, of course, but that's I'm saying that's something that can be done. Now imagine telling this guy, all right, that's what you want to be, or you want to reach that level. Okay, you know, just do this, and this, work out, eat this certain way, eat more, track everything, and, you know, just do that for 4 or 5 years, and then you'll be there. 4 to 5 years, not awesome, right? So what I'm looking at is it's not as though you get that end result instantly, like, okay, this is my 5th year anniversary of working out. I'm gonna make all my gains cumulatively at once. Oh, this is awesome. No, it's not a moment by moment thing. There is no day where your physique will change so drastically that you get to think, holy crap, it all paid off because this one day things completely changed. No, it's gradual, right? So if it's gradual, then, you know, get into the habit and into just the understanding that continuous gradual gains are what you're working for. So as long as you're in a state of progress, as long as your trajectory is in the green, you're good, right? So whether you're losing a pound a week, you're gaining half a pound a week, or your bench is going up 10 pounds every month, or just whatever, if you're making noticeable progress that you're at least satisfied with, and you know, like, you're really bringing it, then you're good. Just at that point, you just get to enjoy the process. There is a kind of I want to say a certain level of tenure that you get from working out, from beginner stage to, like, I don't want to say amateur, but like experienced stage, where you basically have your shit in order, you know what to eat, you know how to lift, you're getting good workouts, you're working out consistently, you are that guy who comes to the gym, you're really killing it, you know, dudes are asking you for spots. Then you kind of just get to enjoy, because you'll reach a point where working out is very normal. This is your new regular routine. It does not feel like you're killing yourself to make sure you keep coming to the gym every day, and you're still making progress, right? So it's if that's your new normal, gains are just occurring, right? So you just get to kind of enjoy. So all that's to say is, don't get dissuaded or thrown off by the fact that it's going to take a while, because that's what makes it more valuable, because not a lot of people are willing to do something that's kind of uncomfortable and hard for a pretty decent chunk of time. And I'm not talking like work, like you're on the clock, you're getting paid. Like, you're working out because this is your free time and it's something you want to do. You know, the reward is, it takes a minute to kind of get, in a sense, but eventually you'll start to realize that it's not just about, you know, how big you are, what you look like or anything. It kind of extends beyond that into a little more of just kind of a contentness with, you know, doing something that's a little bit uncomfortable and still enjoying it, you know. So I think that's sort of my shtick for today. But plan now, go home, eat something, get ready for legs tomorrow. I got to make sure I have a good night's rest. That is for freaking sure. And I need to start getting some UV exposure. Feeling pale, feeling a little too pale for the beginning of July. And speaking of July, right, today's the 3rd. Today is the last day that your family might not have that one 4th of July story where, you know, Uncle Thomas tried to throw a mortar like a hand grenade. Right? Today might be the last day that you know someone, hopefully it's not you, that's for sure, where you've got all 10 of these things still in working order. So, you know, if you're headed to, is it Black Panther? No, it doesn't sound right. What's like the classic fireworks store? I don't know. But you know what I'm talking about. If you're headed to fill up your truck bed with a bunch of like just crazy shit for tomorrow, exercise caution. Because even you know, my only experience with a decently bad hand injury, apart from like, I don't know, I don't think I really broke any fingers when I was a kid, but I definitely like just hit them hard enough that they were hurting for a while. Maybe just like a hairline thing. But like 3 summers ago, I totally sliced my thumb pad open, so like I had to get a reconstructive whatever. So this hand was out of commission for the most part for like 2 months, not even that bad. And I was like, the day that I did that, I was pissed. Like, imagine me like seriously, fuck. And it wasn't because I had like a random gash. It was because I knew my lifts were about to get thrown off for however long it was going to take me to recover. You know, so it's it's the same thing with the workouts, right? If you want to have good lifts, you got to prep yourself outside of the gym well enough, right? And definitely don't hurt yourself in the gym. But don't forget, outside of the gym injury, that's just as prevalent and potentially worse, right? You're never, I mean, you're in sometimes decent, what's the word? Oh, crap. Vulnerability in the gym. You know, you might tear something, you might pull something, somebody might bump into you, you know, whatever. But there's not like a huge amount of danger, right? It's not the level of risk of setting up a ramp and then trying to, you know, jump something with your uncle's ATV or their four-wheeler or something. So I guess now my real ending shtick for today, considering tomorrow's the 4th, is do not hurt yourself beyond repair. Do not hurt yourself at all, but definitely don't hurt yourself beyond repair. That's my ender. And I wonder how. I bet you guys are all good. None of you guys are gonna have to look at this and say, "Oh man, Sam, you were right." And like, you know, you post an Instagram picture and it's like a nasty link. Nah, you guys will be good. You're too responsible to hurt yourself with fireworks. But that's all I got. So I'll see you for legs tomorrow.